subtraction, addition of two numbers. Okay, so a very frequently used function and which can be implemented in a variety of ways. As a result, optimizing this block is always desired so as to achieve a high performance, power efficient adder block. An adder can be a serial adder can be a parallel adder. So parallel adder where you are having a 16-bit parallel addition, 24-bit parallel addition, 32-bit parallel addition, or a wide address you can have, or in another case where you go on accumulating. So serial adder is actually nothing but an accumulator. Okay, so we were looking at the various ways in which a normal addition, which we say in a very simplest primitive way, it is done by using an RCA structure, ripple carry adder. How can you increase its performance by doing small changes at the architectural level? We are not looking at the cell level design. We are looking at architectural level. That is, how can you make or increase the performance? When I say increase the performance means it is nothing but decreasing the delay. Okay, and we have identified the worst case addition combination which can lead to maximum delay. So we are only always taking that combination of operands for which the delay is maximum. And that combination is, we all know, that generation of carry at the 0th bit position and propagation of carry onwards. Forward. Okay, so till MSB. So this is what we are always looking at, and we are only analyzing this particular case. Because if you make this particular case fast, all other cases will automatically be fast. Okay, so as I said that a very simple modification we can make in RCA by just choosing a bypass path, or a skip path, making it a carry skip adder or a carry bypass adder. And we looked at the performance of an adder in terms of the PG diagram. Where we say, okay, PG diagram, you look at the number of levels it requires to complete all the P and G functions calculations, and the depth of the PG tree is actually gives you the idea of the delay. Gives you the idea of the delay that you will get when you execute the operation. So reducing the delay, it is better to go for, as I said, changing the radix for block propagate and block generate functions. So instead of combining two blocks together, two bits together, combine 3 bits together, 4 bits together. But as you do it, your individual circuitry are becoming more and more complex. So instead of using 2-input NAND gate, you will require a 4-input NAND gate, 5-input NAND gate. So radix is reducing the depth of the tree, but it is also increasing the complexity of the gate. So there is a trade-off. Because increasing the complexity means increasing the delay, and reducing the depth means of the tree means reducing the delay. So which one is overpowering? Which one is dominating? Accordingly, the delay will be decided. So we have to go for optimum solutions, like do not make the circuits very complex. So do not go for a very high radix. At the same time, do not go for very low radix operations, otherwise the depth of the tree will be too large. So somehow try to find out a kind of a optimization in the two trade-off parameters. Okay, and we said that okay, even if in my carry bypass one of the parameter is that the block size, where we said in a carry bypass we are choosing a block of 4 bits. Nobody says that you always choose a block of 4 bits. It can be 3 bits, 2 bits, it can be variable sizes as you move along. So go in a tapered form, first increasing and then decreasing. You may size as you wish. Aim is ultimately to achieve a carry improvement, delay improvement. So as we said that carry bypass, it is a carry delay which actually matters. So how to make the carry calculations fast, carry chain fast. And here one of the possible architecture, as you suggested in the last class, was carry select. It was carry select. What are we doing in this? Anybody can look at the diagram and tell me what are we doing? We are pre-computing because there are only 2 carries possible, either 0 or 1. So why should I wait? Because I know if carry in is 0, what will be carry out? I can pre-compute. And similarly, what is carry 1? What will be carry out? Again, I can pre-compute. So let me all pre-compute. I would be doubling the hardware here. As if I have two carry select adder, one working with carry in 0, other working with carry in. We are assuming in the beginning. We are assuming in the beginning. So we are already making two computations for every block size. And here we can again assume block size is a 4 bits block. Now you can decide 3 bits, 4 bits, 5 bits. That is again I am leaving it to you. That can be decided by the designer. But then every block can pre-compute the final carry out either for carry in 0 to the block or carry in 1 to the block. So hardware is going to double, but the benefit is that this pre-computation can all be pre-decided. That means when actual carry in comes, you are only selecting, that's all. You are only selecting. So when you actually start doing execution, then the time taken is minimal. And this is done at the penalty of increased hardware. So if I ask you now, so can you see that I have sized my blocks as a group of 4? So 0 to 3, 4 to 7, 8 to 11 and 12 to 15. That means within this block, it is a RCA structure, 4-bit RCA. In this, it is again a 4-bit RCA. Here again a 4-bit RCA. So we are not increasing the size of RCA. Why? Because in RCA, as you increase the bit size, the delay goes on increasing. So we are restricting ourselves to having only a RCA 4-bit long. And then on that, we are applying the concept of carry select. So we have now, suppose I am designing a 16-bit adder. So 4 blocks of 4-bit. And then every block computes its sum and carry out generation depending on initial values of carry in 0 and initial values of carry in 1. That means for 0, this will go through a RCA operation. This will go through a RCA operation. Again for this also, I don't know what this carry out is, but then it will pre-compute. 0, 1. 0, 1, 0, 1. So if you look at this, maybe in terms of G and P functions, I have the G0, P0, G1, P1, G2, P2, G3, P3. So 1 unit delay. They all can be done simultaneously. And then computation of carry out in terms of G0, P0, G1, P1. Okay. So second step. Because this and this can be simultaneous. So again 1 unit delay. Whether you are computing this or you are computing this. So from here to here or here to here, 2 unit delays. And all these can also be done simultaneously. So I have my outputs available. But then I do not know which one is my correct output. So now depending on your actual carry in, you start selecting between this output and this output. And generate the correct output, which goes as carry into these 2 blocks. And then again multiplexers are used to select. So only mux delays. Mux delay here, mux delay here, mux delay here, mux delay. So I will take initial 2 unit delays to come till this position to generate these 2 outputs. And then starting from here, 1 mux delay plus 2 mux delay plus 3 mux delay plus 4 mux delay. Okay, so now I have 1 step, 2nd step, 3rd step, 4th step, 5th step. I am not moving here. 5th step, and then you have to find the final sum over here. And that can come only when the carry propagation come after 3 stages to this point. Got it? Because this can come earlier. But the final sum generation, it will take time. So we are looking at the maximum delay conditions. What is, how can you write the final maximum delay time? So starting G0, P0 functions here, 1 unit delay. From here to here or here to here, 2 unit delays. Then choosing through multiplexer, 3 unit delay, 4 unit delay, 5 unit delay, not coming here. 5 unit delay, you may say 6 unit delay. But in 6 unit delay, this C011 will give me, it will go 1 step ahead within this. Within, where it will go? It has to go to a 4-bit RC. Can compute C12, then C13, then C14, and this C14 will give you C15 also and S15 also. Got it? So my latest output is S15 because C15 is already available. C15 already I know. It is S15 which is my latest. So what is my total equation, delay equation? What is my total delay equation? How will you write the total delay equation? And remember, when starting from here, all these are also available here. Okay, from here I am coming here. I am coming here. But within this, you need to generate S0, S1, S2, S3. That will come sequentially. So when you reach here, 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit. By that time, I would have got S0, S1, S2, S3. Okay, after this 1 unit delay, again it will the same situation. S4, S5, S6, S7. They will come parallelly. No, sorry, sequentially. So after this this and these two, then again sequential operation. S8, S9, S10, S11. Got it? So by the time you achieve S15, you would have got all the sum outputs and all the carry outputs. That means my addition operation is done. Why have I discussed this? Because I want to draw my PG diagram. I want to draw my PG diagram. Okay, so what is happening? At every bit position here, I would be computing G0, P0, G1, P1, G2, P2, G3, P3 and G15, P15. They all are simultaneous and takes 1 unit delay step. So pre-computation step. And then it is a 0 to 3 block. My worst case delay says carry generation at the first bit, 0th bit, and then propagate. Okay, so essentially what is happening, every block is computing, taking 4 steps to compute for this output and to compute for this output. Sequentially it is moving. So gray blocks. So where is that? Yes. So 4 units. 4. Every block is going through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, from here to here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every 4-bit block is giving you a sequential operation. Okay, it is generating for both the cases where Cin is 0 and Cin is 0. That is a sequential operation. And after that, you are just selecting. So you have S0 for 0 input carry, S0 for 1 input carry. When you select, I will get my correct sum. And this will happen, I will get 4 sums simultaneously. I will get 4 carry, and this is what is shown over here. I will get 4 sums simultaneously. I will get 4 sum and 4 carry simultaneously. This will not take time because all these will be parallel operations. So look at here. When I putting a gray block, that means my processing is over. That means this is the last step. So I have got my final value for PNG, block propagate and block generate. Simply put in your carry in and get your carry out and sum out functions at this bit location. So initially every block will go through a sequential operation, and then after 4 bits it is simply a parallel operation. Here also is parallel operation. So why coming from here to here? Because unless you get your C03, you cannot compute for next block. You cannot select for next block. So next block will come after you get your C03. So 4 operations. Then Once you get C07, next 4 operations parallel. Once you get C011, the next 4 operations. Okay, so the moment you go through this means the gray block means the last step is over. That means what is this? Black blocks indicate that it is not the last step. That means you need one more step. There is a further steps to compute the process. So when you have all these for the next block, so I have this pre-computation for the next block. It is done. But unless I get this, selection cannot be made. So if for this structure, I have all the computations having sequentially, then you get the carry in, and then carry in is mixed, and then the next block 4 sums are opening. So for every 4 block there is a 1 step down. You have to come 1 step. So look at the carry select PG diagram. What's the depth of the tree? Can you compute? The depth of the tree. Remember, for the case of 16-bit adder, RCA, the depth of the tree was 16 units. For the case of carry skip, it reduced to 10 units. Now for carry select, compute, how is the depth of the tree? What is the depth? What is the depth? 1, 2, 3, anyway. And then 4, and then 5, and then so 6, only 6. From 10 it reduced to 6. Only 6 steps. But remember, it is obtained at the penalty of hardware. It is obtained at the penalty of hardware. Carry skip has a lesser hardware than carry select. So I am able to reduce the depth of the tree simply by choice of architecture. I am not doing any modification at the transistor level design. Equations are similar. My GNP equations are exactly similar. I am not changing the equation. I am not playing with the schematic. Nothing. I am only looking at the architectural level changes or modification. So I am reducing the depth of the tree. But can you see that you still have a previous carry dependence? Final carry out cannot come unless the carry in is present. So there is still a carry dependence, but as you are moving forward from RCA to carry select, more parallel outputs are getting generated. More parallel outputs are. Okay, look at the PG diagram of RCA. There is no parallel generation of the output. There is no parallel generation at all. Is there any output coming parallelly? 2 outputs? No. Okay, but as you move on to carry skip, so if I move on to carry skip, there is a parallel generation of carry. Can you see here? These 3 outputs are generating simultaneously. They are at the same level. They are at the same level of the tree. Similarly, this and this is generating simultaneously. Similarly, this and this is generating simultaneously. So there is a parallel generation of the outputs. And in carry select, this further increases. This further increases. This further increases. So we are bringing in more parallelism to reduce the depth of the tree. So carry dependence is reducing. Carry dependence is reducing in comparison to RC. Got it? And then here you can have a variance of carry select. I can say I'm making a blocks of uniform size, 4 bits each. Again, I can have a variable carry select. I can have a variable carry select. Nobody says. So somebody said that you have a square root carry select. The square root carry select means you decide the block size. 0 to 1. This becomes 2 to 4. This becomes 2 bit, 3 bit. This is 4 bit. This is 5 bit. You are increasing by 1 bit in every block. So your sizing are not uniform. Sizing is not uniform, but the process is similar. Process is similar, and when I write the final expression, it gives you the t as a root of 2n. That is why it is called as a square root carry select. Because it is coming as a root of n, where n is 16 over here. And we know square rooting function is a slowly moving function. N is faster changing, root n is slowly changing, and log n is even slowly changing. So we are getting a t dependence on n getting reduced. Dependence of addition time getting reduced. So as I said, play with the operand sizes, play with the block sizes, play with the architecture, and then you can also play with the cell, each full address cell. Even the full address can be designed in a variety of ways. Nobody says that you have only one way of designing a full address. Okay, so how can you change? How can you change the full address design? So if I look at the comparison of these three delays, which are a variant of RCA, which are nothing but a variant of RCA. So delay is more in RCA. It has a linear change. As n is increasing, TP is increasing. Look at the select. Linear select and the square root gives you minor modification, minor improvement. And where will you place carry skip? Where will you place carry skip? It may be somewhere here. It may be somewhere in between. Okay? Or maybe somewhere close to linear select. Because this also has a dependence on n, and carry skip also has a dependence on n. But it would be slightly more than the carry select. But advantage is hardware reduction. Carry skip has less hardware. Now, in all these different architectures, if you look at the variation in the cell design, how can you design a full address cell? How can you design a full address cell? Because RCA is nothing but a cascade of full address. So, as we are looking at architectural, now let me come one step down and look at the different ways of implementing full address. Again, now you will say, madam, yes, I am coming down to transistor level design. So, full adder, a very simple full adder. Everybody can design it. Static CMOS design. Static CMOS design by using equations of sum and carry. By using it, anyone can do it. So you have a pull-up block, you have a pull-down block, and then you need to combine various nodes together to get the final sum and final carry. Okay? Then we can say, okay, I am not satisfied with this. This is requiring 28 transistors. Okay? So 28 transistors, at least these two transistors I can do away with very easily. Because you are simply inverting here. Because your carry output is in it is CO bar you are getting. And this is SO bar. So I am using 4 transistors extra. Let me remove these 4. And can I feed in, because this CO bar will go to the next block in the inverted form? If I do not use these 2 transistors, my CO will go as a CO bar to the next block as input. So can I design my next block which can accept the inverted input? That's what is done in a mirror inversion, inverted adder. Inversion property. That means any design we know can work functions and with function complementary. With inputs and complementary inputs. Equations, they simply change. So you get a function complement or function with complementary inputs. The 2 expressions are the same. I can make use of this property and my RCA can change. Here you will have a reduced number of transistors just by removing inverters. Because this is accepting an inverted output. It is still an RCA, but it is accepting a inverted output. But when this is A0, B0, this would be accepting A1 bar, B1 bar, because it is accepting a C. The C also is an inverted input. So you can say these are full adders, but this is alternative stages are inverting in nature. It is known as a simple, you are using the inverting technique to reduce the transistor count. So transistor level optimization. Or I say I'm still not satisfied because this design is still very complex. Look at my transistor cell, very complex, full adder. It is not an easy way to design, then you need to design them accordingly, say in the ratio of 2:1. So I say okay, I use another property, a mirror adder, which I implement by using the GNP functions, which is known as a mirror adder. When I say mirror means pull up is exactly a mirror of the pull down now. It is not a dual now. Till date we have been drawing a dual. If pull down is there, if pull up is a dual of it. The series will become parallel, parallel will become series. Now I will not do it. I am simply arranging to get my functions of C and S through GNP functions. So I say here okay. I say look at this structure, highly, you can say highly, you can just, anybody can draw it. There is no logic followed in over here. It is just our understanding. What is the understanding? That whenever your operands are 0, 1 or 1, 0 combination, propagate. Whenever your A-B combinations are 1, 1, it is generate. And whenever your combinations of A and B are 0, 0, it is a kill function. This understanding I implement over here. And it leads to mirror adder. So there is no logic followed over here, just my understanding. So look here. Whenever your A and B are 1, 1, your output carry will be 1. No? So I will be generating a 0 because it's a bar function you are getting. So whenever your A and B are 1, 1, I will get a complement of 1. Whenever I have A and B 0, 0, then your output will be 0. So complement will be 1. So look at these two. So this is implementing a kill functionality and this is implementing a generate functionality. A and B combinations. So delete or kill and generate. So simple, my understanding. And what is this? This is giving me propagate. So whenever A and B are 0, 0, 0, or it is only one of them is 0. Okay, so 0, 1 or 1, 0. So how will you implement it? So there is a carry in. In the propagate, what happens? For this combination of 0, 1 or 1, 0, carry in becomes carry out. Carry in becomes carry out. So if carry in is 0, and it is a 0, 1 combination here. Carry in is 0 and 0, 1 combination here. One of the path will be on. This is on. So this node will charge. This node will charge. Carry in was 0. I am getting a 1. I am getting a 1. Complementary output. And when carry in is 1, it's a 0, 1 combination. Then this path will be off. Carry in is 1. So either one of them path is on. It will discharge. I am getting a 1. I am getting a 0 over here. Complementary output. I am getting every time I am getting a complementary output. And look here, whenever it is a 0, 1 combination, this path is off. Whenever it is a 0, 1 combination, this path is off. So at a time only one path is operating. This is known as a mirror adder. Mirror adder. Look at the number of transistors you require, only 24. Only 24, and this block you can use further to generate the sum. This is known as a mirror adder. Different way of implementing my sum and carry function. Logical functions, Boolean functions. So playing at the transistor, playing with the transistor placement, mirror adder, and then you can design in the order of mobility. You can use logical effort. You can use logical effort to design the delay to get the minimum delay. So design the structure to get the minimum delay. So you can design, maybe you can design the ratio of 2:1, apply the logical effort, find out the path effort, and find out a delay using logical effort concept. It is applied to a mirror adder. How to apply logical effort to a mirror adder is shown in this slide, where all calculations are shown, and we are choosing the mobility ratio as 2. So pull up to pull down mobility ratio is 2. Okay, and then we are minimizing the path. We are minimizing the path. So minimizing this gate delay and minimizing this path delay. We are computing GBH, and then we are computing the branching effort. Also, we are computing the logical effort, electrical efforts, and then finally we are looking at the number of the delays that you need. The delay that you need, we can compute. And then for best stage effort, rho, best stage effort is 4. Design your W/Ls. So all the values are shown. So I am designing all the W/Ls, which gives you minimum delay using logical effort concept applied to mirror adder. Okay, I encourage you to go through all these values. We all know how to apply a logical effort concept to my static CMOS designs. So once we do this, now there is another method. Change the logic design style. Change the logic. Do not go for static CMOS, go for CPL. Go for transmission gate. So this is what is shown. Transmission gate based designs. Again implementing the G and P functions, S and C functions, but using fast transistor logic or transmission gate logic. Again I am designing a full adder. And it requires how many transistors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so 20 transistors. And you can get, because CPL is faster than static CMOS, I get a better delays here. And circuits are also symmetric. The sum generation circuitry is symmetric to carry generation. It's the same circuit, but the inputs are different. Okay? And then design a Manchester, very famous design of full adder, Manchester carry chain, where sum is not so critical. It's a chain carry circuit which is very, very critical. So only the carry chain is shown. Some circuit you can design. It's a carry chain which is optimized. So some circuit is not shown here. Optimization of only carry circuit. So how do you design a carry? For every full adder, there is a carry in, there is a carry out. And there is a GP and kill function. Kill function or delete function. So look here. Whenever generate function is high, you get your output as 1. Whenever your delete function is high, you get your output as 0. And when your propagate function is high, Ci moves to Ci. Only 4 transistors to implement carry function. Only 4 transistors. Look here, in the previous case, how many transistors you require for carry generation? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is additionally you require for generating complementary outputs. So more than 4 transistors. Look for here. How many transistors you require to generate C out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. In comparison to this, look at the Manchester carry chain. Look at the simplicity. For one full adder, only 4 transistors and you are getting your carry out generation circuitry. Okay, this is a static version. You can easily convert it to work with a clock 5. This is a dynamic version. You only need to add an evaluation transistor here. You only need to add a evaluation transistor here and a pre-charge. This gets converted to pre-charge. This gets converted to pre-charge. So when generate is here, you have a G and D separately, but you have only 2 functions, P and G. If these 2 are off, automatically third becomes delete. Automatically the third function becomes delete. You need not work for it. So if propagate is off, if generate is off, it is a pre-charge which is happening, which is giving you the delete function. So whether you have a static implementation or dynamic implementation, I am going to have a very simple carry generation circuit. This is Manchester carry circuit. And now you can combine the carry circuit of all the blocks together in a Manchester carry way. Combine. So when I combine, I get a Manchester carry chain. Different blocks put together. So this is C0, this is C1, C2, C3, C4. See, increase this chain and you will get your all the carry chains, all the carry outputs coming an intermediate node of this chain. And along with this, everywhere you generate a some generation block here. So this will give you a better delay because circuit is very, very simple. Circuit is highly simple. So you can design even a full adder in a variety of ways. Okay, just as architectural innovation is possible, similarly, it is possible to innovate at the transistor level, both ways. So once we have done all these different designs of RCA, variants of RCA, now there was one concept which was little bit different from RCA or variant of RCA, which is not a now. Now I cannot call it as a variant of RCA. Till date, my RCA was there, even in carry select, even in carry skip, maybe at the 4-bit level. The RCA was there. Okay, the blocks were RCA. But now I say I do not want an RCA. That is because I have seen that muxes give you less delay. Multiplexers give you less delay. Choosing through multiplexers. Okay, so let me design my adder by using only or majority of them by using a multiplexers. Choose. You have to now choose between S0 for input carry 0, S0 for input carry 1, carry out for input carry 0 and carry out for input carry 1. And then it is a simple job of multiplexers. It is a carry select variant now, but done in a different way. Now I am not going to have a 4-bit RCA. Every block. No. I said no. Why do I need an RCA? I will make my every block position very simple. Because all I need to generate at the 0-bit position, 2 sum outputs and 2 carry outs. 2 sum and 2 carry outs and then selection. At every bit position, generate 2 sum and 2 carry and then select. That's all. That's all. So why don't, instead of RCA, use very simple circuit to generate the sum and carry. Two different outputs versions. So this is what is done in conditional sum. And the motivation comes from this equation. So sum output for input carry 0, sum output for input carry 1. So by looking at the truth table, It is simply a XOR function of A and B. This is XNOR function of A. Similarly, carry output for input carry 0 and a carry output for input carry 1. This is simply AND operation and this is OR operation. And here nothing, no carry in required, just by A and B, and A and B values are known initially also, right from the very beginning. So in 1 unit delay, you can compute all the 4 values. In 1 unit delay, because all these operations can be parallel and can be done for, again, for every bit position. Parallelly, every bit position, parallelly do it. Just 1 unit delay and all some outputs for every bit position and all carry outputs for every bit position can be calculated. So parallel outputs are there. And then you have a network of multiplexers to select. Have a network of multiplexers to select. So all I can do is have a network of multiplexers to select. Now you may ask, why this block? I need not have a block. Yes, you need not have a block. Nobody says that you have a block, but this block is serving one purpose. First of all, I don't need this block. But if I am putting them in a block, say 4-bit, 3-bit, 2-bit, if I am putting them in a block, there is a reason for that. What is that reason? Fan out. What is that reason is fan out. Because carry in is selecting the sum and carry functions for every bit position. So it is selecting for 0th bit, 1st bit, 2nd bit and 3rd bit. So fan out corresponds to 4-bit positions. Here, because I am taking a bit block size of 4. Suppose it is not that. So as if I am not having a block size, what I will have? If there are 16-bit positions, then carry in will have fan out of 16-bit positions, which will be tremendously delay consuming. So I do not want my fan out to increase tremendously because it is carry in which is selecting. Because a high fan out means no delay, so all my benefit will be lost. So I say that let me decide the maximum fan out that a signal can have is corresponding to 4-bit position. So my carry in will be selecting for 4 blocks, for 4-bit positions, and then it will be generating a final C3. This C3 now will work for the next 4 bits. It will generate a C7 which will work for next 4 bits. So I am curtailing down the value of fan out. I am controlling the fan out. But because of this, every time all operations cannot be parallel. Now, unless I get C3, this block cannot start. Unless I get C7, this block cannot start. And unless I get C11, this block cannot start. So I am having my depth of tree at least 4. By default, I am increasing the steps. I am introducing 4 steps. Deliberately, because otherwise fan out, I could have done it in 1 step. But then that step would have taken a longer amount of time. Because fan out is corresponding to 16-bit positions, which I do not want. So deliberately I am introducing 4 steps in my PG diagram, and then in 4 steps I am getting all my outputs done. I am generating all my outputs. So in comparison to carry select, which was having the depth of how much? 6. Now this will have a depth of 4. This will have a depth of 4. So more parallelism. I could have got it in 1 step also. I could have got it in 1 step, but as I said, it is not feasible. It's not practical. Because a larger fan out means a very high delay, which we do not want. So deliberately we are breaking it in blocks. Deliberately we are breaking it in blocks. So it is kind of a variant of RCA, but there is no RCA over here. But you can say that motivation is still coming from the network of generating through getting all the outputs by generating a network of multiplexers. So motivation is coming from your, you may say, carry select, where you are choosing your output through a network of muxes. So here also I am doing the same thing, but here number of muxes will be very, very large. Much more than number of muxes you will be using in carry select. Clear? So a conditional sum adder is fast in that technology where, in that logic where muxes design is very simple. Because it is predominantly mux based. The architecture is predominantly mux based. So where you designs of mux is very simple, this architecture will give you a very fast operation. And which logic gives you mux design very, very simple? Static CMOS or fast transistor? Fast transistor. So if I can design this architecture by using fast transistor logic, I am going to get a benefit. Because the mux is only 2 transistors implementation. Mux is only 2 transistor implementation. At the most 4 transistors if you put an inverter at the output. So this is called as a conditional sum adder. Again a different kind of a design at the architectural level. Okay? And then we all know our most favorite one is look ahead. Most favorite architecture. Look ahead means do not wait for carry which is coming from behind. Don't wait. Which is coming from behind. Look, the carry is ahead. Look, the carry is just in front of you. That is what the idea of look ahead. So how do you get a look ahead operation here? How do you get the look ahead operation here? So every bit position generates its own carry. Do not wait. Do not wait for previous carry. Using some logical Boolean functions, you can generate your own carry. Nothing is coming from behind. You do not have to wait for something which is coming from behind. Everything is look ahead. So your sum is right in front of you. You will be generating. Carry out is also right in front of you. And nothing you have to look back. Everything is look ahead. Got the answer? So now I have to now represent for every bit position the sum and carry out functions such that nothing is required from the behind. No input is required from the behind. And as a result, our equations, they gets modified. Okay, we all are familiar with these equations. So I can generate any equation. I can generate any equation. C1 with C0, because C0 is known to be the C0 here is carrying right from the very beginning. Initially it may be 0. C2 again in terms of known functions. C3 again in terms of known functions. C4 again in terms of known functions. Nothing you have to wait from behind. Nothing is getting generated and then it is getting fed to you. No. No. You can generate something which is available to you right from the very beginning. Right? So every bit position can generate its carry out without waiting for previous carry to be generated. So every bit position can have its functions available, can compute its functions from available knowledge. Need not wait for something coming from here and then get fed here. No, that is not required. So, but in this situation, what is this showing? This gray region. The delay. Because of more complexity of the circuits. Reason is, look this equation, very simple. This equation more complex. This equation more complex. This equation more complex. So something here, the equation would be even more complex. Because circuits are becoming complex and complex, the delay is increasing. But there is only single step. But then difference in arrival of outputs is because of complexity of the circuits at the nth bit position. Okay, so we can optimize now CLA. This CLA will not work. This CLA will not work because CLA means it means a fast operation to me. So how to optimize this concept? Idea is good, but let me optimize on it so that I can get a real time fast operating parallel ladder. Okay, so we'll do it next time. So okay, so I have here at Pilani campus, I would be distributing the answer sheets to you.